talk about the changes that happens in muscle. Okay. Now, after death, muscles of the body goes through three sequence of changes. The first one is primary relaxation of muscles. So, primarily after death, the muscles of the bodies are relaxed. The reason for the primary relaxation of muscle is loss of muscle tone. So, whatever inherent muscle tone a person has, as we have, that muscle tone is lost. As a result, after death, the muscles of the body are relaxed. From being relaxed, gradually the muscles of the dead body becomes rigid. So, from being in the state of primary relaxation, they move into a state of rigidity called as rigor mortis. Okay. So, from primary relaxation, they move to a state of rigor mortis. The reason for development of rigor mortis is depletion of ATP. Depletion of ATP. Now, what is this factor of depletion of ATP? See, ATP is supposed to be the source of energy developed through cellular respiration, and different muscles have their own ATP stores. The job of the ATP is to keep the two important muscle protein, actin and myosin, apart. In the process of keeping them apart, when no contraction is needed, ATP is being consumed. But as the person is alive, the ATP is constantly regenerated because of cellular respiration. But once the person is dead, ATP regeneration cannot happen. So, whatever ATP store the muscle has, that ATP store gradually is consumed, that ATP store is gradually depleting in keeping the actin and myosin apart. And as the ATP gradually depletes, the actin and myosin, they start to interdigitate. And as the actin and myosin, the muscle contracts, and if the muscle remains in a contracted form, it becomes rigid. So, as the ATP depletes, gradually the rigidity goes up. So, it is a gradual phenomena. Okay. Now, literature says ATP levels, if they decrease by 15%, rigidity in a particular muscle begins, or it is started to be appreciated, right? And when the ATP levels are depleted by 85%, rigidity in that muscle reaches its peak. So, rigidity starts to be seen in a particular muscle when ATP stores have depleted by 15%, the rigidity starts to be seen. And as the ATP store keeps on depleting, the rigidity keeps on going up. And when the ATP stores are depleted by 85%, rigidity for that muscle reaches its peak. Okay. Now, there is a time period till which rigor mortis persists in a muscle, and then after a certain time period, rigor mortis gets go away from that muscle. And as the rigor mortis goes away, it passes off from a muscle. What is going to happen to the muscle? The muscle will again be relaxed, and that's called as secondary relaxation of the muscles. So, rigor mortis later on is followed by yet again a phase of relaxation of muscles called as secondary relaxation of muscles. The reason for secondary relaxation of muscles is denaturation of muscle protein. See, the reason for maintenance of rigor mortis was actin-myosin interdigitation, right? And we are talking about a dead body. How long do you think these actin and myosin, which are proteins of muscle, can maintain their structure if it's a dead body? A time will come when these muscle proteins will not be able to maintain their own structure and they will disintegrate. And as the actin and myosin disintegrates, this denaturation of muscle protein breaks the link or cross links between those actin and myosin. The muscle is again relaxed. It is called as secondary relaxation of muscles. Now, if somebody asks you a question that in a dead body, a particular muscle or muscles of the dead body appears to be relaxed, is it primary relaxation or is it secondary relaxation? How can you check for it? How will you say whether the rigor mortis is yet to begin or it has already passed off? And the answer is in what is called as Zasco's phenomena. See, what is Zasco's phenomena? It all depends upon the electrical response of the muscle. See, what happens in primary relaxation? The electrical responding unit, the contractile unit of the muscle is active. The actin-myosin filaments are present. So, if you are going to give an electrical stimulus to muscle, the muscle may show twitching. So, what is done in Zasco's phenomena is patella is tapped and tapping of patella leads to twitching of the quadriceps muscle. Okay. And why this quadricep response can be seen by tapping of patella is because the contractile unit of the muscle is intact. And when is the contractile unit of muscle intact? The contractile unit of muscle is intact in primary relaxation phase, right? Primary relaxation phase is first phase, right? If you are going to tap the patella in the secondary relaxation phase, no matter how hard you keep on tapping patella, there is not going to be any quadriceps response because the contractile unit of the muscles are not intact. So, Zasco's phenomena is positive only in primary relaxation phase, right? That's how you can say whether a muscle is in primary relaxation phase or secondary relaxation phase.